am grateful another day, for another day that it comes before me that she wants me to come forward. Again, I want to say this again. There's one thing that I come forward in my flesh. It's another thing for me to come forward in my ruach. For in my flesh, I wouldn't be ready. But in my ruach, I'm ready all the time. And so I'm going to put this disclaimer right there, and it's true, it's wrong. In Him, I live, I move, and I have my being. So does all of us. Peace and blessings. I pray the Most High strengthen all of us right in the place where we are. I pray that the Most High will continue to take us from faith to faith and glory to glory. I pray that we take off every stipulation that we put before Him, because He don't put no stipulations on us. I pray that you would receive that into your core, that He will begin to revive you, renew you, recalibrate you, restart you, all of the reasons. And now as we go forward, let me just say, let me pray. Father, I thank you that you are who you say you are. You are the Alpha and the Omega. You are the beginning and you are the ending. Father, I trust you 100%. And I thank you for waiting on me. Waiting on me, Father. You've been standing there and waiting. I thank you for giving me a Damascus Road experience, and I thank you for delivering me out of it. I thank you for the power that you have incurred on the inside of me, Father, that continually flows up and out. And I ask, Father, that you would begin to open my brothers and my sisters, the kings and queens, that they would receive this, what I have. That they would be ignited even the more and strengthened even more. And I ask this in the name of Yahushua. And we say, so be it, and it is so. The Most High Yah has given us another doorway open. And as long as I can remember, He's always put us a year and a half ahead of everybody else. We're already ahead of people. And so what do we do with being ahead? We just can't do nothing with just being ahead. I heard Apostle C say 10 years ahead. The number 10. Okay? So I'm going to work on this what he had given me, so we can understand where we are now. And I want to say this right here, and I'm going to say it with the greatest amount of love. You must be able to trust the Ruach HaKodesh, not for your flesh, but for your Ruach. It's very important that you receive these revelations, because revelations come straight from the throne room. He said unto us that we will be able to rewrite books and bring back that which has been taken away. All of these things. He said that is for the remote generation. And we are the remote generation. It was also said that the oil flows heaviest at the bottom of Aaron's beard. That means that 10 times anointing power exists upon us. As we went into the book of Daniel, we found out that Nebuchadnezzar, or the Most High, allowed Nebuchadnezzar to go into Jerusalem and take 4 Hebrew boys out of there. When he went into Jerusalem to take the 4 Hebrew boys, he brought them back into a place called Babylon, which operated with the Babylonian system. And they were tested for 21 days. And out of the 21 days, they came back to report unto Nebuchadnezzar, and their findings were that the Hebrew boys were 10 times greater than anybody in their kingdom. They had 10 times go again. So we can never say that in Babylon, or Babylonian system, that the kings and queens of the Most High don't move in that system. But we have to be mindful that what we are paying attention to, what are we occupying, what mindset are we occupying? Are we doing it, occupying it through the flesh, or are we occupying it through the Ruach? That's the key, because whatever you feed this body, it's going to operate out of. Let me say that again. Whatever you input into this body is what you're going to get out of it. If you feed this body junk, you're not going to get the greatest. You're going to get junk out of it. But if you feed it Ruach going to get stronger. So now we must be able to make this shift, because a lot of us are still operating by sight and not by Ruach. We have to be able to allow sight not to be our portion, because that's an intake, and when we see it, we're going to begin to start having fear come upon us. If you turn on all the TVs, you'll see what? They're operating in this fear. And fear knows fear. So you're looking at fear, fear is coming in. Why? Because you feel the fear. And if you feel fear, it's going to occupy that space. Oh, well, you know, I'm strong, I can take it. No, you are letting fear coming into that place, whether you like it or not. It says it in the book of wisdom, if you do whatever you entertain, you shall become. And you're making a covenant with it. So we got to understand, we cannot make a covenant with something that the Most High don't want us to do. So if you want revelations, how you going to get a revelation when you're still operating here and not operating here? See, if the children of Israel are made spiritually after the Most High, y'all, let's just go to it right quick. Yes. Not just talk so much about it, but let's go to it. It says it in the book of wisdom. Book of Wisdom. Chapter, page 500. 500. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. You ready? Page 500, verse 27 on chapter 2. 2:23. 2:23. Chapter 2, verse 23. And it reads, "For the Most High created man to be immortal, and made him to be an image of his own eternity. Nevertheless, though they envy the devil, the envy of the devil came death into the world. But they that do hold of it, and they that do hold of his side do find it." In other words, you see what he said? If he made us in the image of himself, then we cannot continue to go in the other direction, because the other direction is affording us something great, something not great when the Most High. Yeah, oh, you know what? Oh, I sure got this. I sure got that. But I'm here to say, the devil have blessings too. He will bless you. He will give you all kinds of blessings. But the eternal way, if we're made to be eternal, and if we allow the devil to come in, we're not even better than Adam. Adam messed up, but the Most High redeemed him. The Most High had to raise Adam 6 and 7 and 8 times from death in order for to make him stand and have faith. We should already learn to have this faith, but we don't learn how to have this faith because we're operating in this flesh. Part flesh, trusting in the Ruach. Part flesh, believing in the Ruach. Not even knowing that the flesh thing that we got. So when we begin to entertain the things that we see, it's not a constant thing on our mind that what we're putting in is fear. Where does fear go? Fear replaces faith. Fear replaces faith. Now you fearful of something when you have supposed to have a knowledge of faith and knowing, and now it becomes a problem because you're wavering now because you don't believe what you read. Now you want to seek it out someplace else. It's most important that we must be able to maintain the eternal part of who the Most High Yah is, because he made us after his image. But when he comes and talks to us and tells us, that's the reason why we're having a problem now. He said, the minute you hear my voice, harden not your heart. Well, that's why I think most of the pastors have fallen there. Because the more I can tell, if I'm headed to something of destruction, and every step I take, he say what? He ain't gonna split. He gonna just not say nothing. Where you going? Don't do that. Where you going? Don't go there. Didn't I tell you not to go there? Well, I'm telling you not to go there. Why are you going? Now you get to the point where you don't want to hear. When you get to that point right there, now you're in trouble, because the Most High is gonna let you have what you have. More importantly, if the Most High get mad at you, you get put in jail. He is the person putting the handcuffs on you. He is the person that's going to stand up to judge you when you come before him in the courtroom. He is the person that's going to give you that sentence. He is that person. So we can't never call it the devil no more, because we understand that the time that we start our journey and making it, and the minute he was talking to us, we didn't listen to him. What is your reward? He said, okay, come on, your reward awaits. I got a reward waiting on you. Come on, get your reward. Joseph. He was known for going from the pit to the palace, right? So if he went from the pit to the palace, the reason why is because all the brothers was boasting about the power that they had. Joseph said, the power that I have and my calling I have is greater than all y'all. He made all of them jealous. So the brothers decided to take him and begin to put him in the place they were trying to sell him. First they were trying to kill him. Then they decided to sell him off. And when they sell him off, the Bible says he got sold one time. But in actuality, he got sold 3 times. He got sold 3 times. But the journey that he made to get to where he had to get there. The reason why he had to get there, because had not Joseph made it to Egypt, everybody would have died. He was the only one that can interpret the dreams. The dreams that he interpreted said that there was a famine coming for 7 years, but he knew that something was coming. But the king, the Pharaoh started calling all these people and said, no, I need to know what this dream is about, because the dreams were consistent. What'd you say?
I'm just saying, while in Babylon, our
Yeah.
gifts are still in operation.
Exactly, and that's my whole point. I'm getting there, because everything Joseph did, although there was famine in the land, we were still moving.
Yes.
While there was famine in Daniel in Babylon, still moving. You see. In fact, in Babylon, with Nebuchadnezzar, the Most High came down and dwelt. It says it right here. Let's go to Daniel chapter 7, verse 9. Daniel chapter 7, verse 9. See, we are going through this thing, and we're being tested all the time. And we're being tested for the reason why, to make the gifts that we have begin to come forward. And there's so many gifts that dwells on the inside of us, and once you come out of one test, guess what? You're going into another. When you come out of one, you're going into another. And you have to know the gifts that you're operating in, so therefore, you're going to be tested in that. You're going to be tested in everything. In elevation, you're going to be tested in that. Why? And when you're going through the test, you have to count it all joy. Oh, here we go. Daniel chapter 7, verse 9. And I was looking until the throne was cast down, and the Ancient of Days sat, whose robe was white as snow, and the hair on his head was pure wool. And his throne was like the flames of fire, and his wheel was like burning fire. And a stream of fire went out and came out from before him. 1,000 served him, and 10,000 stood before him. The judgment seat was set, and the books were open. That's the whole reason why Daniel had to be there, because in the land of captivity, the Most High came down, visited Daniel himself in Babylon, and opened the books of heaven. He opened the books. And so now we understand that when we're in the land of captivity, you can't say that we're held bound, but we have to learn how to get into that place, how we can praise and worship him. What did Daniel do? Daniel worshiped the Most High morning, noon, and night. The sages saw him, and they did not like it, so they went and told Nebuchadnezzar with one of the ordinances that they put up, so they wound up trying to put Daniel in the lion's den. That's the same thing they did with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego said that they wasn't going to eat none of their food, and they would not go do none of their customs. And so that's how they got through. And what, in other words, even if you want to be thrown in, they were already purpose in their heart that even if they had to die, it'd be better for them to die than to dwell with what they dwell in. That's the kind of heart we got to take on. Because we have to understand, even though here in this system right here, although the Most High is calling us to go this way, we cannot go the way that the system is going. And so we are like what already been told from our forefathers. So now in this land of Babylon, well, you know what? Let's think about it. What is the blessings of Abraham? What's the blessings of Isaac? What's the blessings of Jacob? What's the blessings of Judah? There's so many blessings waiting for us that we're going to be tested. Why? Because there's so many blessings that he had already promised that he was going to give us. This is why we're going to be tested also. So scriptures, as we're going through it affords us. By the way, chapter 12 in the book of Daniel, but people were going crazy. He told Daniel to seal the books. Now here's the difference between the books being open and the books being closed. When the books are open, everything works. The prophecy, teaching, every prophetic gift works. Revelations, that's what. All of these work while the books were open. But then the moment Daniel closed the books, he told Daniel in chapter 12, seal the books until the end times. Yeah. So now when you say seal the books, what that does? It stops prophecy, apostles, revelation, teaching. All of that begins to waver off. Why? Because the books are now closed. Heaven has closed it. Why? Because the people have gone crazy. We go to 2nd Ezra, chapter 6. In 2nd Ezra, chapter 6, he said, when the humiliation of Zion is complete. You want to go there? Let's go there. The humiliation of Zion. 2nd Ezra, chapter 6. Second Ezra chapter 6, that's 380, page 380. 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 1. It says, and he said unto me at the beginning of the circle of the earth, and before the pearls of the world were in place, and before the assembled winds blew, and before the rumbling of thunder sounded, and before the flashes of lightning shone, and before the foundation of paradise was laid, before the beautiful flowers were seen, and before the powers of movement was established, and before the innumerable host of angels were gathered together. Wow. And before the heights of the air were lifted up, and before the measures of the firmament were named, and before the footstool of Zion was established, and before the present years were reckoned, and before the imagination of those who now sin was estranged, and before those who stored up treasures of faith were sealed. Then I planned these things, and they were made through me and not through another, just as the end shall come through me and not through another. And I answered and said, what will be the dividing times of when will the end of the first age and the beginning of the age that follows? And he said unto me, from Abraham to Isaac, because from him were born Jacob and Esau. For Jacob's hand held Esau's heel from the beginning. Verse 9. And Esau is the end of this age, and Jacob is the beginning of the age that follows. That was hidden from us. Let's go verse 10. For the beginning of man is his hand, and the end of man is his heel. No longer head, is the hand and the heel. And I answered and said, O sovereign Elohim, if I found favor in your sight, show thy servant the end of the sign which thou didst show me in the previous night. And answered said to me, rise on your feet, and you will hear a full resounding voice. And that the place where you are standing is greatly shaken. While the voice is speaking, do not be terrified, because the words concerning the end, and the foundation of the earth will understand. Verse 16. That the speech concerning them, they will tremble and be shaken. For they know that their end must be changed. Verse 17. When I heard this, I rose on my feet, and listened, and behold, a voice was speaking, and the sound was like that of many waters. Verse 18. And it said, behold, the days are coming, and it shall be when I draw near to visit the habitation of the earth. Verse 19. And when I require from the doers of iniquity the penalty of their iniquity, and when the humiliation of Zion is complete. Now see, we ran right past that because we didn't know what the humiliation of Zion was. Yeah. That's the 400 years. Yeah. That's the 400 years. Yeah. That's the 400 years. Yeah. Verse 20. This is key, right? Coming up. And when the seal is placed upon the age which is about to pass away, then I will show these signs. Here again, the books shall be opened before the firmament, and all shall see it together. That's Daniel 12 right there. Yep. The book shall be opened. The book shall be opened, and all shall see it together. Yeah. Whoa. That's consistent with Revelation chapter 5 all the way through. You begin to understand that Revelation 5 said that the seal had to be broken by Michael. Michael came and broke the seal, and the 7 ruachs of the Most High came forward. What I'm saying is, it's all about what we believe in and what we're standing for. But you're not going to be able to grab this from the flesh. You're going to be able to grab this from the ruach, because your flesh will not be able to correlate that which the ruach has already been built for. Your ruach was built to carry all that information, but your flesh wasn't. Yeah. Your flesh is for sight. Your flesh is for temporary. Your flesh is for minor. That's why you forget so much. But if you believe in your ruach, the ruach HaKodesh, he begin to open. He will bring back everything that you put in to your memories. Yes. And you understand, but when he comes back, it's coming back with power because you have put it in there. Yes. We must understand that the power of the ruach HaKodesh dwells in us. So a lot of our fathers say it don't take all of that. And I don't want to be a recipient of that, because if we got that, if we had that person in our family, we may have grabbed hold to a little bit of that, and now we're wrestling to believe it because he made a decision not to way back then. It's not to say you're not going to be able to, but it's going to be harder. Why? Because you came from that person. You understand? Yeah. You got to be able to. This is where it comes. If you want something you never had, you got to do something you never did. So the thing about Jacob was the firstborn son that the Most High had chosen from the beginning of time. The moment and made him to be the firstborn son.
What she said before creation.
Yeah, that's what creation, because time. See, here we got to understand. It's all about time. See, how did time start? Time started when Adam got kicked out the garden. The second he got kicked out the garden is when time started. He didn't need time in the garden, but when he stepped out the garden, time began to start. So now we understand, and he confirms it by saying, oh, Adam, you got to wait 5.5 days because I've already made it a way for your escape. Isn't that right? So after 5.5 days, well, let me break it down. One day with the Most High is what? 1,000 years. So 5,500 days to exact is when the Most High redeemed Adam. It's a lot of hidden stuff, really. It's a lot of hidden stuff. Something pointing you this way when it really was this way. Still going this way, but it's this way. And you trust and believe in the Ruach. The Ruach will take you off the page of this book. Will you believe it? And will you stand there when you find something that will confirm what he said? This is what we are here. Because if not, he can use the book. But he got something greater. He got something that can maintain the book, and the Ruach inside can decode it, and you will believe it. But if you cannot, move out the way, because here comes somebody who will. This is what that time is now, because he's bringing forth people who want to be used by the Most High God, and not sit up here and say, well, I just don't believe that. But you have to believe it deep down in your Ruach. If you don't put faith in that place to believe, you will not believe it, period. And that's where we are now. We got to be able to put our faith in it, because these books are here. In fact, there wasn't books when he gave it to us. There were scrolls. They afforded us, so they went through every chapter, every verse, and put in there everything. And you know they took some things out of here. But what we got right now is enough, because we have the Ruach HaKodesh. It's already in here. And even with this, we can begin to decode. We can begin to take that water. You know how to take water and circle up in a sponge, and then you can squeeze it. And what we get out of it? Substance. Say, I can make $1 out of 15 cents. I can make something out of just a little bit, but it requires patience, endurance, love, peace, joy, happiness, patience, temperament, goodness, gladness. Got to work on the inside of you so you can produce that. We are walking miracles, but our mindset has been pushed to the flesh and not to the Ruach. And yet, by the time we start trusting the Ruach, we might become 90 years old. This is what we are right now. I can talk to many people, and just by listening to them, I can see where they're at. What I'm saying is, the greater portion is already here. Yeah. And I'm just saying, take the stipulations off. Yeah. The Ruach. Ask for forgiveness and the forgiveness of your fathers. And then begin to pray and tell them, if he come to you and tell you something, you will do it. This is where we are right now. Because there are levels in the Ruach. And if you're not a part of that level, stay in your place and let those who are going forward be able to get to that mark that they have to get to. Because I'm going to tell you, there's some greater than me coming. So we cannot sit up and hold you here at bay because of where your beliefs are. It doesn't work that way with the Ruach. He's calling many of us to places that they don't even know. This is what we're going on right now. This is what we open it up, because in these books, there's no way. If we are 10 times greater, you got to work 10 times harder, and you might not be ready to do it. But then High. I'm telling you, building. Because if it did it the Most High went to Babylon and opened the books for Daniel and told him he brought his angels and everything in the land of captivity. Come on. What are we going to do with that? So that means you can't put no stipulations up. No. When Revelation comes, you got the real justice. Let's readjust. Let's readjust this thing. You got to readjust. You got to readjust so you will be on point.
Yes.
This is what we are. Because if you don't, you're going to miss it all together. And if you think that Most High don't have nobody, watch what I'm telling you. He's going to bring somebody greater than you, boom, prophesy to know and tell you from the rooter to the tutor, everything that you did. Why? Because he's coming back for that purity that you have maintained from your youth. That purity, that pure form. Purity that dunamis power have not even been seen on this earth yet. And when purity hit Ruach, woo! That's powerful. And all we're here to do is lead you. Let you be a springboard out for us. Let you be a springboard that you may go after, that you may go higher, that you may go deeper. Let revelation come forward. This is what's going on, and they're being produced now. The reason why I know is because I've heard a couple of young men tell their mama that they weren't going to church no more because they found the truth out. These are young boys, what, 11, 12 years old, telling their mama they ain't going to church no more because church, the letter J had for 400 years. They telling their mama this.
That's good.
He said, all creation. Because see, when you're chosen, you don't know how he going to come to you and tell you, now I want you to go after this. In fact, he won't give you no rest until you do it. You won't get no rest, period, until you begin to do what he tells you to do. You ain't fighting against the devil. You're fighting against the Most High God. When I read in the book of Judges, it ain't all about the devil. It's the Most High. He the one that allowed them to go into captivity, and he the one that got them out.
It's the truth.
It is over what I've seen over 70 times that the children of Israel went a whoring around to do what they want to do. And so he got tired and let them go into captivity, and then when he got them out of there. This is something. So now we got to understand this. Well, let me just go here. Let's go over here. Let's go over here in the book of Enoch. Knowledge is power. Your belief system has to catch up with the Most High. Because your belief system is wavering. It's way back there. You need to come on up. Page 25. Page 25. Page 25. Once we get to a line and know what exactly who we are and know how the Most High is, it'll be better for us not call the Most High the devil. Not call the Most High Baal. We call him the Most High because he's the Most High. In some kind of way, they have manipulated the word that we call the Most High the devil because the devil did this, the devil did that. It ain't all the devil, it's the Most High. And now from all my findings, and so when you search, you have to really become more, and not just in the 66, but you got to become a historian to get the truth. Here we go. Chapter 61, verse 10. And he will summons all the hosts of heavens, and all the holy ones above, and all the hosts of the Most High, the cherubims, the seraphims, the Ophanims, and all the angels of power, and all the angels of principalities, and the elect ones, and the other powers on the earth and over water. Tell me the Most High does not have principalities as a part of his army. Tell me that. It's right there. Page 25. We understand that everything the Most High do, in order for him to get your attention, he must disturb where you are. So we understand it's the Most High, the one who's showing us, pushing us, and bringing us into a place. You don't even know your royalty. You don't know your kings and queens. You are a soldier. You are 10 times greater than anybody here on this earth. And yet you're still in the mindset of don't want to know. Oh, you know what? I just don't want to know all that. Just leave me alone. I'm cool. You know what? I just got from work. I'm tired. Want to sit here for a minute. No. The Most High don't give you no rest. But who we really are is this. Let's go back here. Let's go to page 280. Page 280. See, we are entertained by angels of the Most High. We are entertained by angels of the Most High. The Most High, we are in a company with the Most High, his angels, and the Son. We are in a company all the time. That's why we must rise up, because we hold the greatest prestigious seat in the kingdom. Chapter 2, verse 20. Well, let me go to verse 17 first. Now let me go to verse 16. And he finished all his work on the 6th day, that all is in the heaven and on the earth and in the seas, in the abyss, and in the light and in the darkness, in everything. And he gave us a great sign, the Sabbath day, that we should keep 6 days, that we should work 6 days, but keep the Sabbath, the 7th day, from all work. Now listen, verse 18. And all the angels of the present and all the angels of sanctification, these two great classes, he hath bidden to keep the Sabbath with him in heaven and on earth.
Where was that?
Chapter 2, you can start from 17. Let's just go to 20. From chapter 2, Book of Jubilees, page 280. Verse 19. And he said unto us, behold, I will separate unto myself a people from among all the people, and these shall keep the Sabbath day. And I will sanctify them unto myself as my people, and I will bless them. He said, my people. He didn't say just him. He said, my people. Jacob's people, us, the children, the seed, the generations after, the ones that he have called, the seed, the generations. And I will bless them as I have sanctified the Sabbath, and do sanctify it unto myself. Even so will I bless them, and they will be my people, and I will be their Elohim. Verse 20. For I have chosen the seed of Jacob from among all that I have seen, and have written him down as my firstborn son, and have sanctified him unto myself forever and forever. What is forever and forever? What is that? Would it change? Would forever change? So what is forever? Forever, it never stops. You die and come back alive, and you're still going to be under that. See? Let's keep going. And I will teach them the Sabbath, and that they may keep the Sabbath thereon from all work. Verse 24. And to this Jacob and his seed, and his seed, and his seed, and his seed, it was granted that he should always be blessed and holy ones of the first testimony and law. First testimony and law. Somebody tell me what a testimony is. In order for you to have a testimony, you got to have a test. So when he's saying testimony and law, I'm saying myself, he said, and they should always be blessed and holy ones of the testimony law, even as he has sanctified and blessed the Sabbath day on the 7th day. See, let's jump over to verse 30. And they shall not bring in or take out from house to house on that day, for that day is more holy and blessed than any jubilee day of the jubilee. On this day we keep the Sabbath in heaven before it was made known to any flesh thereon on the earth. So that won't answer many questions because a lot of people say that, it was different round. But it's different, it said right here, verse 31. And the creator of all things blessed it, but he did not sanctify all people and nations to keep the Sabbath, but Israel, them alone he permitted to eat and to drink and to keep the Sabbath day from there on the earth. Verse 32. And the creator of all things blessed this day which he had created for blessings, holiness, glory above all day. Now here go the last part right here, and this is simple. This law and testimony was given to the children of Israel as a law forever unto their generations. What you going to do with that? We must understand that the Most High Yah has made us in a place and we don't receive it. But see, if we don't receive it, then somebody else going to receive it, because here's the thing about his creation. Faith is something that starts on the inside, but it grabs something on the outside that's called the atoms, the neutrons, the protons, the ions, the electrons, all of those things that's waiting for faith to come. And so they'll meet that faith and grab it, and that's how things come. And if that's true, that means that if you're faking and shaking, you won't get it. If you're a corner cutter, you won't get it. If you don't have faith in having nothing, you're not going to get it. But those who have been standing and believing and building up their ruach, it's going to happen. Instant. It's going to happen instantly. Because now I'm understanding something. I'm standing up here before you now. If you'd have told me I'd have been doing this here, look here, I'd probably be living in bareback. Bareback out. Really. But I'm telling you, I'm thankful that he revealed himself unto me. And he made it to a way and said, hey, don't worry about it. It's not going to be you, it's going to be me using you. So now I understand. It's like Moses said, oh, Moses, don't worry about nothing. Oh, you know what? I'm a stutterer. Let me go get my brother Aaron. He didn't have to take Aaron. That was his comfort zone. The Most High is using us. He's raising us up. That's why I say to people now, take off the stipulations. Take them off. Because you are no good to the Most High by taking little bitty steps.
Yeah.
That's about it. I took a step, see? Let me take them off. Mm-mm. Oh, I took a little bitty step. Oh, wait a minute. I can take another one. I took another little step, No. Because see, what that's going to do is the reaper and son-in-law see what you do, and it's going to allow you to take another little bitty steps. But the children of Israel, they're going to take some steps. They're going to take leaps of faith. They're going to jump all the way out there. They're going to believe that because when their heart gets to that point where they want to submit fully to the Ruach HaKodesh, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, nor is it entered the heart of man for the things that the Most High have for him. Why? Because that's what he gave Jacob when Jacob held him all night long, messed his hip up, gave him the name Israel, and then told him that was what he was going to have. Now you're about to see something. And by us being in relationship of generations down there, we are open to see this great reward from Abraham, and that's a lie. From Isaac, and that's a lie. From Jacob, and that's a lie. And from Judah, that's a lie. There's so many blessings waiting. And one of them said, wherever you put your feet, wherever you walk in, I'm going to give it to you, said the Most High. And to your generations. Even, we're not even talking about, because that's flesh. We're talking about Ruach. Because in the Ruach, you ain't in nothing. You ain't in a place where you can hear from the Most High. They telling you this, you're going by this. You're not even a part of this system. You're a part of this system. You're part of the eternal movement system. You're part of the greater that you haven't even seen. But see, you got to shift from being over here, because over here will get you caught up. And you come on over here and begin to believe in Him. Build off of this. Build in this place right here. How much more will He give you?
I just want to add that He's building an army. And because where we're going, we have to be able to to understand that invisible realm and not to back up anymore from what he has, the responsibility he has placed in our hands.
Hallelujah.
And then what you were saying out of Judges, we have to also, if everybody would turn to Judges too, just to show you how good the Most High is to us. And we have to be very careful we don't turn back anymore.
Hallelujah.
If everybody would read Judges, this weekend, it's a short read, but you can see how many times out of Judges, he had to put up judges in order to get them straight. And so we want to be very careful that we don't fall in that place where we are in being judged again, because I believe, and this is what I really truly believe based on the word, this is it. This was the longest captivity of 400 years, and this is it. We're in the finale.
Hallelujah.
Chapter 2, verse 11. And then the children of Israel did evil. This is what he was going to read earlier. The children of Israel did evil in the sight of Elohim and served the Baals. And they forsook Elohim, Yah of their fathers, who had brought them out of the land of Egypt, and they followed other gods from among the gods of the people who were all around them. The people who were all around them. The people that was all around them, they began to go in a different direction. And that's what Apostle was saying.
Right. And it angered the Most High God. He was angry.
And so, where are you?
It's verse 13.
Okay.
And they forsook Yahuwah and served Baal and Ashtaroth. And the anger of Yahuwah blew against Israel and gave them into the hands of the plunderers.
So he gave them into who? So was it the devil?
No.
No,
It was the Most High. It was the Most High.
No, was it? No, it was the devil.
No, it was the Most High.
Are y'all sure it was?
It was the Most High. It says it here. He got mad at them because...
Do y'all see that? Who did it?
It was the Most High.
He delivered them into the hands
Oh,
of
and he sold them. And he sold them in the hands of their of their enemies all around, and they were not able to stand before their enemies no longer. And whenever they went, the hand of Yahuwah was against them for evil. You
so
see that?
everywhere they went, they were binding up the devil.
And it wasn't the devil. It was the Most High.
His hand was against them for calamity, as Elohim had said, and as Elohim had sworn to them, and they were what? Greatly distressed.
That's right. Look here, verse 16.
Here comes his mercy.
Isn't it? And Yahuwah raised up judges, and they saved them from the hands of their plunderers.
Now here he is. They hard-headed. He get a punishment, and then after a while, he say, I'm going to save y'all some.
So, if we are in the land of captivity, we were sent here for a reason. And we must understand that it's not so much about the devil. This is about the Most High. He is the one who's pushing us. And so we have to get there. We have to renew, recalibrate, and revive our mind. If our heart ain't right, we have to ask Him for a clean and a pure heart, holy and acceptable to the Most High Yah. We must be able to get there by all means necessary, because we have this. Listen, this right here, this body right here, this is a system. And so when He come at me, I can't say that I need some because everything that's operating in me is from Him. Yeah. You see? So if He give me the Damascus road of spirits, He gonna allow me to say, okay, there's a fork in the road. You want to choose to go the flesh way? That way there. Now take the sin to go with it. You want to choose to go the righteous way? Take this way. You see? And so when you decide to take the right, the problem is we haven't been through a Damascus road of spirits enough to be able to stand on that which we know that is real. And yet we're going to straddle now. Oh, my faith in it now. Oh, my faith in it now. Oh, you know my faith in it now. And head go to reaping and so along. You see? They're doing faith in that. Faith in that. Straddling faith in that. Faith in that. And now you've caught yourself further down that road because you have started something that you can't stop. You see? So if we make a conscious decision to stay in that place of authority, now as we're growing through, not going through, but growing through, you get yourself right here. You don't have to know what the end may be. You already know the process is good, and you already know the part where the Most High is drawing you, and you trust Him. So you don't have a hard heart. You have a cheerful heart. You have a joyful heart. You go through. Why? Because you were built for it. There are narrow places, He said, that He's already set. Everybody can't go through the narrow places, but we can because we're built for it. Yeah, but I don't know if I want to go through that. Man, look here. No. You will. It might be He'll put something to make you have to go through it. I'm telling you.
You be like, yes, sir.
Yeah, well, I'm going through this here. You see, you'll start it yourself. Man, look here, I went through that real fast. Look here. I done flew through that thing. Woo-wee, I should have did this a long time ago.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, that's true. I should have done
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
Or it would have happened if I had just.
Yeah. Exactly.
If I had done it a long time ago.
Exactly.
Right there.
So we're speaking faith here.
Yeah.
What is faith? Faith is believing that the Most High is a rewarder of those who diligently seek Him. So if you don't use that as a stepping stone, because if you believe that, that means your belief system will catch up to what He's already done.
Yeah.
You see? You can't get caught up in, and you know what? Let me say this. Don't act like you know everything. Cast it down. Everything. Cast everything down. You don't know nothing at this point because you begin to come up to the Ruach. You want to tell Him what you're going to do. What you're going to do is you're going to find yourself 50,000 feet back. Because what He's not going to argue. If He comes to you, He's going to tell you what you're going to do. He's going to tell you how you're going to do it. And it's your job to follow that instruction. You have to walk that line just like this. Because if you walk in that line, He's making a better you. Now you got here to the place where He's making a better you. You tired of you. You don't know how to get rid of you. So He's making a better you. And that's what He's doing to all of us. He's letting us going. He said the chains have been broken. So we've been going from faith to faith to faith to faith. I know it. I've had it. I'm seeing it. He's continually taking us up these faith ways higher and higher. And never think that you got to the highest. Because when you get up there, guess what? You don't open up another channel where you go even higher than that. You're going to be tested all your life. All your life. But count it all joy. Because you could be in the grave. Yeah, you could be dead. Or you could not even have the Ruach, which is already dead, because the devil going to come on you. And they're going to sit up in you. And they go, hey, y'all, hey, he ain't doing nothing. Tell me how the devil can come on you. There's only one way that I know how. When you ask Him for something, and He gives it to you, and you sit on your ease, and you don't want to do nothing. Time is passing, and you don't want to do nothing. He calling upon you, and you don't want to do nothing. Now here comes the devil, because now the Most High has stopped talking to you, number one. You sitting up there, you become slothful, and now here them demons come. Here they come. What's that page there, baby?
I'm getting ready to go to it right now.
That'd be the last scripture. I just want to encourage everybody, look, we have to do the work. We have to put this work in. How high do you want to go? How high do you want to go? You see, listen, and I want to say this. Our mindset is in lower bar. Our mindset is in lower bar. We want to dwell in poverty. Our mindset in lower bar. Why? Because our forefathers put us there. They said to sacrifice our children to demons. So our mindset is a peel from that which our forefathers had. And now we're sitting up here with that, not willing to accept to come up out of it. Once we come out of it and know that there's something greater, oh, it's a done deal. Now look here. I'm going higher now. Because you found something. And it's very important that we come out of it. If preparation is coming, and you're not out of it, and they give you money, you might be found in the house dead. But whatever you like the most, you don't die for it. Ain't nobody gonna stop you. You don't die for it. You hear what I'm saying? You need some kind of structure. If you're not the place to be structured, then you're in trouble. Am I right? Because the man, I know a man won $121 million. He worked at a mechanic shop. 6 months later, that man drew all his money out the bank, sitting in the middle of his house, all his furniture gone, and he in that house, he was dead because he was smoking and smoked his crack all the way up to the point he died. The money's sitting in there, in the house. All the furniture gone, wife left and everything. Listen, I'm trying to tell you, that is that Nimrod syndrome. You see? Hard-headed, don't want to listen. The Most High said we are stiff-necked people who don't want to listen. And many times when they put us in captivity, it's for a reason so we can understand that He is greater than who we are. Woo! Yes, sir. And that's what we're still dwelling with right now. Joshua 21. Joshua 21.
It's going to be on page 111.
111. I want to take you here, and then this is going to be here.
46.
What? 146?
No, 111. Verse 46.
Just want to help us out. Because that's elevation. If you don't want to receive the Ruach or take the stipulations off, then, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah. We're in the book of Joshua, and this is chapter 22, verse 46. And the day arrived when the sons of the Most High came and placed themselves before Elohim. And Satan also came with the sons of Elohim before the Most High Yah. And Elohim said unto Satan, Whence cometh thou? And Satan answered the Most High and said, Going to and fro in the earth, and walking up and down in it. And the Most High said unto Satan, What is thy word to me concerning all the children on the earth? And Satan answered the Most High and said, I have seen all the children on the earth who serve thee and remember thee when they require anything from thee, and when thou givest them the thing which thou require from thee, they sit at their ease, and they forsake thee and remember thee no more.
It's an open door. When you get something.
That's a spirit. That's a spirit. Give me this right here. And you take it, and you don't want nothing. You don't want to pray to Him. You don't want to ask Him for nothing. And when sickness and diseases come, you want to come before Him. You want to bow down, Father, I haven't prayed to you. God said, no, you can't even come to me. Get away from me, you worker of iniquity. I never knew you, because you're all about self. And you're not about anything else. When the chance was given to you, while you can come and have a relationship with me, while it was afforded to you, you turned it down. And now the trouble comes. Now you want to ask me. And that's what the problem is. We have a whole lot to look within ourselves other than looking at other people. Because there's much more on that being. What did he say? He said, get the plank out of your eye before you get the speck out of somebody else's. That means we have to look within, because for some of us, only person can look within us is ourselves. If you ain't gonna let nobody else come and tell you nothing. So you have to wrestle with yourself. You have to go get in the mirror and tell you, hey, look, you're gonna straighten yourself up today. We're not gonna have none of that. You understand what I'm saying? Whatever it takes for you to get there. And that's what I want to say. That's why I'm bringing that to you. It's a whole lot more. But I'm saying in the land of captivity, we are already powerful. And we're going forward because there's nothing to stop us. We cannot view this thing fleshly. We have to view this thing ruach. Ruach, when we're in the ruach, we're giving our all to the spirit, to the spirit, and not to the flesh. And we see the flesh and we get mad. Oh, now you made me mad. Don't you know you're giving to the flesh? Your ruach telling you, okay, wait a minute. If you dwell in your ruach long enough, your flesh will become nothing to you no more. When people say something, oh, it's going to be all right. Because you're giving more to the ruach other than giving more to your flesh. When you give up, listen, if you got a lot of anger in you, you want to say something about what it is, that means you haven't got that part out of your flesh. Your ruach still here saying, oh, wait a minute, let's go here. Quiet down. Call it ease. Let it go. Anything you lose in the ruach, I'm going to tell you right now.
You don't lose.
You don't lose it.
Never.
If you lost a house, hey, you lost it temporary. You lost a car, you lost it temporary. What he does is take it from your past and put it in your future. And it shall be bigger, greater in your future. Learn how to let some stuff go. Put that trust in the ruach, and then he will elevate you even more because all he wanted was your trust. All he wanted was for you to trust him and what he was doing. But we, oh, you know what? It's almost like the ruach is here, you standing here. Well, I have to let you in because, I don't know how to know nothing about you. And I don't know if this is what you're not. Wait a minute. Well, what? That takes away John 17 then, right? That takes away John 17. Because John 17 said he would leave and then he would send the comforter. Not what he had, because whatever Yahushua had here on this earth, he picked up what Adam had. But he said, give them what I had in heaven, that we would have that here. So it will be greater miracles that we have. So we got to tap off into the greater now. Why? Because that which he had when he was here, it wasn't even his, it belonged to Adam. Satan grabbed that, remember? That's why he got challenged after the 40 days. Oh, I'll give you the kingdom if you do this, if you bow down to me. I'll do all of this here. All of that, it was just hogwash because the Most High Son, he already knew what to do and how to say it. If he had came here with his power, I'm going to tell you right now, the weeping willows would have laid down. The sun would have stopped working. The moon would have stood still. Everything that, if the Most High would have came, the Son would have came here in his power. Everything would have laid down. They would have known it. But why would he have to do that? You can't get faith from that. You got to get faith from being like you and showing you the way, how to get there. You got to know how to get there. Because if he came here with all that power, it would have been a done deal. Straight. Well, what faith you going to get out of it? You get bragging then. He coming. He's going to come. Oh. No, it'll be good. It wouldn't be good at all. But by how he came without what he had and did what he did, lets us know we can do that same thing what he did. So therefore, you developing more people to do what he have done. That's what the whole deal is. And once we understand that, we open up to it even more. Yeah. Pray and never stop praying. A lot of the time we got to go into fasting. Be prepared to fast. Fasting begin to get you away from some stuff. And to get you stand up on some things. You see? And this is what I have for y'all. Let the power and the blessings of the Most High overtake you. For what we know, for what I know, and what he has taken me through. For what he has taken me through, I don't know. Nobody went through this. I don't know. Nobody went through what I went through. I went through some stuff for him to get me to where I am now. In so much where our hand came and knocked the gun out of a man's hand. Our hand knocks the gun out of a man's hand that I would live. I picked the gun up, shaking like a leaf on the tree. What the heck was that? He looked at me, I'm looking at him like, the police come, I dropped the gun. Listen, this thing is real and I have to treat it 1,000 power. Why? Because that's the way I saw it. Y'all be blessed. Be blessed. Be blessed. Be blessed. Be blessed. You cannot be cursed. Listen, I just want you to go to get to those levels. I just want you to trust him so he can get you there. If you got doubt, you won't get there. I'm sorry. Because doubt is a killer. It's a stumbling block. It's eternal. Yeah, it causes you not to advance. We may advance in word, but our faith will not advance because we don't believe it. We got to be able to keep it.
My advance in word.
It's true. It's true. Yeah. Yeah, no words. Yeah. So we want to be able to trust the Ruach so we can be able to get that what he calls us to do. Hallelujah. Father, I thank you. I praise you, I magnify and glorify your name. Father, I told him just as you stated, how you brought it out, Father, and how you have kept us, Father, and how you're building us up, Father, and now is the time for the greater works to come forward. Father, use us for your glory. We don't need to know about what you're doing. We just be able to obey when you tell us to do it. But I hear you say obedience is greater than any sacrifice. Break the yokes of bondage now. Break every tie that binds. Break everything that's not like the Most High, that's been riding on us, Father. Let us become free. Let us let go of the rein. Teach us how to trust you even the more. Teach us how to bow down at your feet, to create, Father, a throne room so we can begin to be obedient unto you. Father, we thank you even now. For the day now is already dawn, and you're looking for the substance, that which is on the inside of us, and let us not let you down. We thank you even now. Now walk with us all tonight. Walk with us as we are in the Sabbath, Father. Let us begin to become perfect before you. Help us, Father, as we go deeper. Now have your way. In the name of Yahushua, we say so be it, and it is so. Hallelujah.